Oh, boys, anybody who's milled wood knows what we're dealing with, or, you know, just generally playing outside in the summer. Wasps. There's wasps inside this mill. They've got me once on my forehead, back of my neck. There's one there. We get a lot of questions on, you know, milling up our walnut and these big trees that we get, so we're going to go through this a little bit here today. That's about a 25, 26 inch walnut log on the small end. We're going to book match that fella. Sort of gives you options when you have a log like that, because it's not really wide enough for a table, but if you book match it, you'll see what we're talking about. It's going to open it up, gives a whole lot of extra room, and it's going to be kind of symmetrical. It's going to look really cool and be a beautiful piece. It wants really wide stuff, then of course we can mill it to their specs. But you know what, we're going to do this. We're going to show you how we do it. Might not be how everybody else does it, but that's how we do it. And I have some pics of other stuff that we book matched. You can see there's a pile of walnut right there. It's all book matched, ready to go. It's just drying. And once we get this done, I've got a few more logs, and then I've got these big white oak here as well. They'll go through the mill, no problem. But then we have to build a kiln. The important part here is make sure this stuff is dry. There's always something to do. Hey, Jamie? Pretty much. We can go non-stop here. So let's get her done. We'll book match this baby. You guys can see how we do it. How we do. No way. Holy Jesus. That's the problem we run into sometimes. You think a log is nice and intact and you got big holes in it. Can we get another cut down?
You need to peel the bark off. And I think we can only get one more, but I think we can.
Holy jeez. Should we put a new blade on?
I don't have any.
Yeah, no, there's brand new blades.
We don't like those ones.
We don't like them on softwood.
I'll go grab one.
Yeah. So that is what we're dealing with. You just never know what you're going to get when you get inside a log. And sometimes you get that right there. Some rot that the bark had covered up. You never know. And there's that one of those big bees. Ooh, don't like that. But you know what? It is what it is. It's a tree. It's a natural product. Now we're going to flip this on its side and take our book match cuts. And you can see that hump right there. And you can see the waves all the way down. And that one right there.
Right here.
Let's see if you can see that or not. Big hump in that. It's hard to see with the sun, but a big dip in that one there. And you know, if you get a dull blade, or you get a blade sharpened by somebody who shouldn't be sharpening blades, which we thought we found a good deal on sharpening, but not so much. That's what happens. That was one cut with that blade, and then another cut with that blade. That's two blades out. That's 25 bucks down the drain. But that's okay, because we got Jamie sharpening blades now, and he's a genius at it. Well, you know, that bark was full of dirt and rocks, like badly.
That doesn't help anything.
No, it doesn't help. I don't know if you guys saw in the video, but it looks like the sapwood, which is the white outer wood, is green. It sort of turns green when it hits the oxygen, the air, and then it'll turn back white as it starts to dry out. Go up. Whoa, down. That's good. So we've leveled this log out, more or less centered the pith. So when we cut this through, yeah, we're good now. We're not gonna have that inner part of the log, which is kind of goofy. It dries really weird. You almost cut it out of the log. So that way when we come through, it just stays right in the center of a board. Kind of what we want. Now we're just gonna figure out how many boards we can get out of this. And we'll run them at 2 inches. So we get one good set.
2 good sets.
No, this won't be a good one. That top one is no good. Yeah, it doesn't go all the way down.
Why not?
No. So you want to do
So do you want me to cut the top?
Like 5/4 all the way. Nice. Another beauty. Look at that. Oh. Okay. So this is our book matched set. We ended up getting one book match set from one half of the log. We'll flip it, we'll get another book match set. We've got a couple of odds, or just single boards. But I want to show you this. We ran into this issue, which you guys saw earlier. But even still, I mean, right now, exclude the bark, that's 16, 16, that's 32 inches. Even if we wanted to cut this out, you'd end up with a 32-inch really clean table. Or
fill it with epoxy.
Or fill it with epoxy, and you're looking at almost 20 by 20, almost a 40-inch table by 40 by 99 inches long. And this stuff just turns out beautiful. We just wet it with just soapy water, just sort of brings the color out a little bit. You can see this green color here in the sapwood. It turns green as soon as it hits the air, and then that all dries up and just turns white again. Because the heartwood isn't your friend, really. I'll show you why. Technically we could have even taken a bigger chunk out of this, but that's the center right there. And you can see the growth rings right here. These first few growth rings, they sort of dry at a different rate than everything else. You can see the cracks. There's a crack that goes all the way up that board right to the other side, and it's right in the middle as well. So technically, to make a good board out of this, we'll cut it right there. Then you've got this nice solid section here. It's going to dry really nicely. It's not going to cup or warp because of the way that the growth rings are in it.
Vertical grain.
Vertical grain. It's kind of what you want. It's like quarter sawn. Little more character on this side because of that. There must have been a branch in there that fell off years ago, and the bark sort of covers it over. You can't really see it. You can sort of tell it's there. And I'm glad we milled that off the way that we did, because if we'd milled that another 90 degrees,
it'd be right in the middle of your table.
Yeah, there'd be these big nasty holes and it wouldn't look good. At least with that, you could fill that, and a lot of character comes out of that. Or you know what? I was just at a bar recently down in Toronto, and there were big holes like that, and they just left them. They just cleaned them up, sanded them a little bit, epoxied the whole thing, and whatever you
can have all your cables come up for telecom.
Oh, you can just feed the dog.
Put a lamp in there, feed the dog.
Feed the dog. You just toss the scraps right through the hole in the thing. But that's it. Doesn't that stuff look amazing? I'm telling you, it's so fun milling this stuff. It's like some kind of a Christmas present. You get to see all the cool character that comes out. Even when you see a really straight log, a nice saw log, you don't think there's going to be really any knots or character in it. There is. It's just the stuff is hidden in there. It's really beautiful. I can't wait to do this one. This one's next. But as we go through this, we're stacking everything. So we remember where everything goes. We've already got our stacks over there. And that's next. That's pretty.
And for anybody that thinks this is cheating, this is what it looks like once it's finished with bar saw and
Exactly.
lacquer and all that.
Yep. Then it gets darker as it over the years. That's a beauty. Like I say, you never know what you're going to get in there. That's kind of like fire. That's fire, Jamie. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but boy, that's slick looking. Just a thing of awesomeness. Out of one log, we ended up getting two really good book match sets. One that's going to end up a little shorter, potentially, or if somebody wants it just like that, that'll be just perfect. We just have to make sure we stack these right, because they're going to really want to try to cup on us. And then a bunch of extra 2-inch boards, some 5/4. Well, there's the middle one and an extra slab. So you know, there's a lot of wood in there. We don't tend to do lumber so much. We like this kind of thing. This feels more rewarding. I don't know why. I just love it. But next is that big log. We'll do that with the chainsaw mill. And that's gonna be a whole other video. I gotta thank you guys for joining as usual. Don't forget, if you want to support old PowerModz, you can buy one of these t-shirts or some hoodies or a hat. We have those in the description below. You can check them out, and I really appreciate your support. I don't want to have to go to Patreon and have people subscribe and pay all kinds of money and do all that kind of nonsense. And I got to thank you for coming back as usual. We always enjoy a nice day here milling at the property. This is what really makes all the PowerModz thing really happen, because it sort of pays the bills, we're hoping. Anyway, thanks for joining. Keep coming back.